What's up, everybody? Thanks again for joining me on the next episode of In the Pink. And if you are not familiar with what that term means, that is a term that was coined way back in the 1500s before pink was even a color. And it had to do with wishing someone their optimum health and happiness. So this week we are going to talk about gut health, and we are filling in that blank with menopausal weight gain. But as always, we're always gonna start out with the what we know. So my first what we know. We know that you may be eating and you may be exercising no differently than you ever did, but you're starting to see more weight collect around your midsection. And this is especially true if you are in those perimenopausal years or menopausal years. So anywhere in your 40s and 50s. And my second what we know that women in this stage are gonna put on about 5 pounds on average. Research is also suggesting that women in the postmenopausal era are putting on about 1 to 1.5 pounds per year, regardless of ethnicity, race, body size. It's a blanket statement. And my last what we know that in comparison to premenopausal women, postmenopausal women are also more likely to have increased fat levels and decreased muscle mass. And of course, this can lead to obesity. And we know that obesity is a risk factor for many things. So diabetes, metabolic dysfunction, cardiovascular disease, and the list goes on and on. So it's kind of a big deal. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the guts roll in all this. But before we get to the guts roll specifically, we're gonna back it up a little and go over some general causes of this menopausal weight gain. First thing, body composition, and we kind of touched on this already. As we age, the body composition changes, meaning that we have less and less lean muscle and we start putting on more fat, visceral fat. And scientists are finding that changes in hormones, specifically estrogen, are contributing to these changes. And we also know that during menopause, estrogen levels begin to decrease. And as this happens, that fat accumulation changes and the distribution of the fat changes. In fact, one study found that the number of fat cells in women actually decreased, but the amount of fat stored in each cell increased. Kind of crazy. And where we store fat also changes. Before menopause, women tend to store this excess fat around their hips and thighs. But as we enter this menopausal phase of life, that fat storage changes and shifts to around the midsection. And it's in visceral fat. So it's fat stored deeply within and around organs. Okay, let's move on to the second thing, how our body is metabolizing. And yes, of course, this changes also. In fact, it's been found that in a fasting state and immediately following eating, blood sugar, blood fat, and inflammation level markers were higher in postmenopausal women as compared to those that were not in that phase of life. Or how about lifestyle changes, the third one? We know that behavioral changes are going to take place as we age. In general, people sleep less, and this also affects this weight gain. And night sweats make it harder to sleep. Studies have found that our sleep affects our blood sugar levels even the next day. Not getting enough sleep leads to blood sugar spikes when you eat the next day, and when you have those higher spikes, you're gonna have those lower crashes. And it's also more common we're just not as active as we age. And fourth, and most important, the gut's microbiome. We already know that the diversity of our gut is going to shift as we age and go through menopause as these estrogen levels drop. And we also know that the gut microbiome has a lot to do with how we metabolize and how our body responds to food, which is why this change in our microbiome may contribute to the changes in weight. However, there's more and more studies studying bacteria and its effect on our gut microbiome, and when it comes to this weight issue specifically, lactobacillus. So let's move on to a couple case in points and see what's going on in the study realm. All right, the first study, women who were consuming yogurt that had probiotics in it, the Lactobacillus fermentum and Lactobacillus amylovorus, had a reduced body fat of 3 to 4% over just a short time period, 6 weeks. Another study, again studying a variety of lactobacillus, the Lactobacillus rhamnosus. And that study showed that women supplementing with this specific strain helped women to lose weight to the tune of 50% more than those that weren't on that strain. And in another study going over the benefits of Lactobacillus gasseri, that one showed an 8.5% impact on weight loss when compared to a placebo group. And it just so happens that one is found in fermented food. And there's also ongoing evidence showing that by improving our gut lining, certain strains of bacteria or probiotics are shown to reduce systemic inflammation, which also protects against chronic disease. But it's not all about lactobacillus. There's also studies ongoing looking at Bifidobacterium lactis. And we already know that that's very important in a properly functioning immune system. And it just so happens that immunological problems are a common consequence of menopausal weight gain. All right, it's time to move on. Let's move on to some healthy practices, some habits. What are some things we can be doing on a day-to-day basis to help keep us healthy and keep that weight off? Well, the first thing, we always start with diet. And what if you're this person? Well, I haven't changed anything. I'm still eating what I used to eat. I'm still exercising how I used to, but I'm putting the weight on. And what I say, it doesn't matter what you used to do. What you used to do is no longer working. So it's time to really drill down and make some changes. And obviously, this is going to mean working on your gut microbiome from a food perspective. So fermented foods, yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, the list is the same every week. Incorporating more whole foods into your diet, whole grains, lean protein sources, a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, healthy fats. But it's not only focusing on a good diet, it's getting rid of the crap, which means dumping processed foods and really cutting back on your sugar intake. And the second thing, moving your body, exercising. But you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet, and you can't eat your way out of no exercise. You need to be focused on both. Core strength exercises are very important, weight-bearing exercise. Because like we've pointed out, it's not just fat around your middle, it's visceral fat. Developing that core strength is kind of a big deal. The next one, sleep. Get some sleep. Get plenty of sleep. And that means at least 7 hours. And stress. Learn how to manage your stress. Learn how to keep your stress levels under control. And the last thing, consider supplementation. We are just not going to get everything from our food sources any longer. We need to be supplementing with quality supplements that are targeting what we are struggling with. And even if that means using some of these individual strains that I've talked about in the case in points. But this is gonna roll us right into the best part. Let's talk Plexus. Let's talk Plexus and how Plexus can play a role in your health picture. We're always gonna start with the TRIPLEX, guys. The TRIPLEX remains the cornerstone product for a reason because it has the slim, the pink drink, the drink that was developed for diabetics to keep their blood sugars stable. But it not only does that, it works on cellular inflammation and it works on gut health. The next one in that combo would be our PROBIO 5, which is a premium probiotic blend that is freeze-dried. It penetrates where you need it to go to live and thrive. But not only that, it's got an enzyme blend in there to break up fungal overgrowth. And that, paired with the BIOCLEANSE, makes our perfect combination. The BIOCLEANSE is an oxygenated magnesium, which is going to get in there and give us a gentle daily cleanse, moving out the yuck. And the next one, VITALBIOME. We always touch on this one too because it's introducing 8 different strains of probiotics into our body, giving us diversity. Let's also touch on the X Factor Plus because we're not getting all our nutritional needs met. X Factor Plus is a phenomenal vitamin which is fully methylated, paired with aloe vera to get a better absorption of both our fat-soluble vitamins and our water-soluble vitamins, and our body knows what to do with it. And how about that MetaBurn? If you have not tried MetaBurn, you guys, you are missing out. Fat burner, metabolism booster, helps balance our adrenals. A great product to add on if you are struggling in this weight department. And let's add one more this week. Let's talk about the sleep. It's not just melatonin. There is more in there. There's a proprietary blend they call Tranquil Blend. And this product is meant to give you a solid night's rest. I will tell you, when I had tried this for the first time, I was not impressed. It took a number of nights before I started to see a difference. So if you've only tried it one night, don't give up. Time and consistency, just like all the other products, that is key. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you this week. Thanks for hanging with me till the very end. And if you are new to this Plexus train and have no idea what I am talking about, I'm gonna list in that description box my link. Get on there, nose around, ask me some questions. Curiosity will get you on this train every time. I'm also gonna list in that description box some links to videos I have done in the past, going over the products we've talked about, going over the rest of the menopause issues that I've talked about, and the current playlist in the pink is right here. So if you want to hop on and catch some episodes that you have missed, they'll be easy to sort through. And you might just want to join me here again next week, because what happens in the gut does not stay in the gut. It affects everything, which is going to lead into many more episodes of In the Pink.